"She was never allowed back on the Johnny Carson show after this," is a dramatic phrase that has become popular online, often used in clickbait-style headlines to spark curiosity. When it comes to The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, several celebrities did fall out of favor with Carson, a legendary figure in American late-night television. One of the most infamous stories revolves around comedian Joan Rivers, whose professional relationship with Carson ended abruptly and who was, in fact, never invited back on his show again. Joan Rivers had been a frequent guest and guest host on The Tonight Show for years. She credited Carson with giving her her big break, as he invited her to appear on the show in 1965. Carson admired her quick wit and comic timing and championed her early in her career. Their professional relationship blossomed over 2 decades, and Rivers became a trusted regular fill-in host for Carson when he was away. Many viewers came to see her as a possible successor to Carson. However, things changed dramatically in 1986. That year, Fox was launching its own late-night talk show to compete with Carson's dominant program. Joan Rivers was offered the opportunity to host her own show, The Late Show starring Joan Rivers. It was a groundbreaking opportunity. Not only would she be one of the first women to host a late-night network talk show, but she would also be going up against the man who helped make her a household name. The key controversy lies in how Rivers handled the move. According to her, she tried to contact Carson to personally tell him about the new opportunity. She said he refused to take her calls. Carson later claimed that she never contacted him at all and that he felt blindsided and betrayed when he learned of her new show through the media. From his perspective, Rivers had broken a deep trust, one forged not only through repeated appearances but also through years of personal and professional mentorship. Carson's reaction was swift and severe. He immediately severed ties with Rivers. He never spoke to her again, and she was permanently banned from The Tonight Show. It's important to note that Carson had a reputation for being fiercely loyal but also deeply unforgiving if he felt betrayed. This feud was a clear example of that characteristic. Though Rivers had meant no harm, she viewed the Fox offer as an inevitable step forward in her career. Carson interpreted it as a personal and professional slight. The consequences for Rivers were significant. The Late Show faced challenges from the beginning, including low ratings and network interference. It was cancelled after just a few months. Professionally, she was shunned in certain circles, and the rift with Carson cast a long shadow over her career. Her husband and the show's producer, Edgar Rosenberg, tragically died by suicide during this tumultuous period, compounding the personal toll of the ordeal. Rivers would go on to rebuild her career through stand-up comedy, acting, and later, fashion commentary and reality TV. Yet she always expressed deep regret over the way things ended with Johnny Carson. In multiple interviews, she spoke about the pain of being cut off and her sadness that the two never reconciled before Carson's death in 2005. The ban even extended beyond Carson's tenure. When Jay Leno took over The Tonight Show in 1992, Rivers remained persona non grata. It wasn't until 2014, nearly 30 years after her ban, that she appeared on The Tonight Show again, this time with Jimmy Fallon as host. Fallon invited her back as part of a surprise lineup during his first week hosting the show. The audience responded warmly, and Rivers was visibly emotional about the return. Unfortunately, she died later that same year. So while the phrase "she was never allowed back on the Johnny Carson show after this" sounds sensational, it is based on true and dramatic events. Joan Rivers was not just banned from the show, she was exiled from a significant part of the late-night television world she had helped shape. Her story is one of ambition, loyalty, and the personal costs of breaking new ground. While Rivers would ultimately be remembered as a trailblazer, her relationship with Johnny Carson remains one of the most poignant and tragic rifts in entertainment history.